today we're going to learn how to use counters to subtract integers. Now if you remember from last time when we were adding integers, we had to come up with this idea of a zero pair, where we had one positive integer and one negative integer. And when you add positive 1 plus negative 1, you get 0. Now that's going to be important today when we model subtracting, because we're going to have to use zero pairs in order to be able to subtract. Okay, so we're going to start by modeling negative 2 minus 4. So I'll start by building my negative 2 integer, my first integer, with my two red tiles. Okay, each of these, this is negative 1, this is negative 1, so together they're negative 2. Now I'm taking away 4 positives, but in my workspace I don't have any positives to take away. So in order to give myself positives to take away, I need to add 0 pairs until I have enough positives to take those away. So I'm going to add 0 pairs because that's not going to add any value to the number we have. So if I add 1 0 pair, I have 1 positive to take away, but I don't have 4. So I'm going to keep adding 0 pairs until I have 4 positives to take away. Alright, so I've added enough 0 pairs now that I have 4 positives to take away. So I've built my my problem here. Now I can actually take away those 4 positives. So I'm going to take those away, and what are we left with? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 negatives. So the answer to this problem, negative 2 minus 4, is negative 6. So I'm going to put this over. Negative 6, that's the answer. Okay? So we're going to try another one where we're going to model using our tiles. We're going to go with the simple one. Positive 8 minus positive 3. So I'm going to build my positive 8 first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So I've built my first integer, which is positive 8. Do I have 3 positives to take away? I absolutely do. So I'm just going to simply take those away and see what I have left. I have 5 positives left. So the answer here, positive 5. All right. Let's try another one. This problem is positive 7 minus a negative 4. So I'll start by building my positive 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have 7 positives, but I don't have any negatives to take away. I need 4 negatives to take away. So in order to be able to take away those 4 negatives, I'm going to have to add those 0 pairs. So here's 1 0 pair. Okay. I still don't have 4 negatives to take away, so I have to keep adding 0 pairs until I have 4 negatives to take away. Alright, so here's my 7 that I started with. And I had to add 4 0 pairs in order to get 4 negatives so that I could then take those away. When I take those 4 negatives away, what am I left with? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 11 and they're positive, so I have positive 11. All right, we're going to try one more. We're going to try a negative 5 minus a negative 8. So I'm going to build my first integer. There's 5 negatives. Now I need to take away 8 negatives, but I don't have 8 negatives to take away. So I need to add some 0 pairs until I have 8 negatives to take away. So there's 1 0 pair. I still don't have 8. Here's another 0 pair. I have 7 negatives, but not 8. So I need to keep adding. And 1 more 0 pair. There we go. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 negatives I can take away. When I take those 8 negatives away, what are you left with? You're left with 3 positive. So my answer is positive 3. Alright, so we've practiced a few where you're modeling with your tiles here. What we're going to do is we're going to look at how we can turn the model into a picture so that when we write down on our homework, we can be able to show it with the pictures instead of having to glue tiles or move tiles around. Okay? Okay, so now I have my notes out here, so we can take notes to show how we're going to model or draw pictures to show integer subtraction. So we're going to write subtracting integers with counters, or those tiles that we used. And we haven't done steps in work in a while, so we're going to write steps over here and then work over here. So the problem we're going to do is -5 minus 2. We're going to try to figure out what that's equal to. So my first step is to draw the first integer in your problem. Our first integer in the problem is -5, so I'm going to draw 5 negatives. Okay. Then I need to look at the second integer that I want to take away. I want to take away 2 positives, but I don't have 2 positives. So in order to take away 2 positives, my second step is to add 0 pairs until you have enough of whatever you're trying to take away. So I need to take away 2 positives. So I need to make sure I have 2 positives to take away, which means I'm going to have to add 0 pairs until I have those 2 positives. So here's 1 0 pair. I don't have 2 positives to take away yet, so I need to keep adding. Do I have 2 positives to take away now? Absolutely. So I'm going to go ahead and take those 2 away. That'll be my third step, is to cross out the second integer because you're taking them away. And to see what you have left. Well, here's what I have left. And if I need to count them, I'll count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 negatives, so my answer is -7. Let's cross out the second integer and see what you have left. That'll be step 4. Count what you have left. All right, so let's try some more. Let's do -1 minus -3. So I'll first draw my first integer, which is a -1. So there's 1 negative. Now I need to take away 3 negatives total, but I only have 1, so I need to add 0 pairs until I have a total of 3 negatives. So there's 1 0 pair. I only have 2 negatives. Here's another 0 pair. Now I have 3 total negatives. I can take those away, and here's what I have left. So -1 minus -3 is +2. Let's look at one where we are just taking away and we don't have to add any 0 pairs in. Let's do a -6 minus a -2. So I start by drawing my 6 negatives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then it says I need to take away or subtract 2 negatives. Well, I have 2 negatives to take away, so I'll just cross those out. And what are you left with? You're left with -4. These ones are the easiest because you don't have to add any 0 pairs. We're going to try one more like this, and then we're going to go back to the ones where you have to add 0 pairs. All right. Let's do 7 minus 4. So these are positive integers, 7 minus 4. So we're going to start with plus 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I have to take away 4 positives. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll just cross them right out. And what you're left with is 3 positives. These, like I said, these are the easiest because you don't have to add any zero pairs. All right? We're going to do one more example where we do have to add a zero pair, or 2 or 3. Okay? Let's do negative 2 minus a positive 4. So I'll start by drawing my first integer, negative 2. Now I have to take away 4 positives, but I don't have 4 positives, so I need to add 0 pairs until I have 4 positives. 1, 2, well now I have 2 positives. Now I have 3 positives, and there's 4 positives. So now I have 4 positives to take away. I'll take those away, and what I'm left with, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 negatives. Negative 6. Okay. So we've gone from using models to show integer subtraction to pictures to showing integer subtraction. And tomorrow we'll go into the rules of integer subtraction, just the normal algorithm for it.